Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going out tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going out tonight. Yeah, right. It's going out tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going out tonight. Yeah, right.
My girl's at, it's going down, down.
When my girl said it's going down tonight. It's going down tonight. Welcome to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation with the force of friendship. We're excited to be here. We come to you Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am excited. We almost have a full house. We want to send our prayers and our thoughts to our girlfriend, Caterina Harris Earl, who is in Chicago with her husband, Pastor Anthony Earl, whose dad passed. And so we absolutely are praying for them as they are making arrangements. So let's lift up our girlfriend, Caterina Harris Earl, and the Earl family. So Caterina, if you're listening, we're thinking about you. And absolutely, you know, we're missing you and we're praying. No glitches, because our girl Caterina is not here to handle it. So we are definitely have her in our thoughts and our prayers. But again, we're excited to be here on this Tuesday, Thankful Tuesday. So much is going on around the world, and we're going to talk a little bit about a few things that was in the news today. But I'm excited, you guys. Last week, I believe, we were scheduled to have Bishop Vashti McKenize. Of course, March was the month that we celebrated Women's History Month. And she was scheduled to be with us and was not able to make it. And we said, oh, we have to rebook her. We got to have Bishop Vashti McKenize back on the show. She is such an incredible woman, and we definitely wanted to talk to her. So she is back. She is back. She is here and live and living color. And we're going to meet her in just a few minutes. But before we do, we want to hear from the girlfriends. We want to hear from the girlfriends. So much is going on, you guys. Absolutely. I saw the news for just a few minutes and definitely want to get you guys' take on some of the things that we saw. We are definitely praying and believing that it's going to happen, that Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is going to be confirmed. Yes. I think she'll be able to be confirmed even if they don't get any Republican buy-in. But I hope that, 2 or 3 will break their party ranks and vote for her, because she is not just qualified, she is overqualified. I mean, come on, let's be clear. But I'm going to tell you what really got my blood boiling a little bit. Calm down, First Lady, calm down, was when I saw, and I shouldn't be surprised, Republican Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina said that he is not going to vote to confirm her. So, with
no description, with no answer, with no backbone, with nothing. He didn't say any reason why, just no.
Just no. So talk, girlfriends, just talk a little bit about that. Sabrina, I know you got a lot to say. Come on. What do you think about that? Unmute yourself, Sabrina.
Surprised, despicable, but predictable. That's
okay.
That's how I feel. It's just that when you kind of know, but then when it's in your face and it's stated, it is appalling. But we know who he is. We know what he stands for. It's unfortunate. And I'm just like, before I got to stop throwing shoes at my TV. Okay. So before I break my TV. All right.
Okay, I know that's right. I know that's right. We got to get her confirmed, but we truly believe that it is going to happen, and she's so deserving. And I'm excited that she will be the first Black woman. Oh my goodness. To be on the Supreme Court. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And we're going to see what we can do on We Got Issues. Wouldn't it be powerful to have her on the show? I'm just putting it out there. So to all of you that are listening, to those of you that are watching us live on either 9:10 a.m. or the Force of Friendship Facebook page, if you have an inroads, if she's your cousin's cousin, and she owes you a favor, we want you to think about your girlfriends on We Got Issues. We would love to have a conversation with her. So I'm just putting it out there. You have not because you asked not. So we're believing that's going to happen. So Gloria, talk to us. I know you saw your president was back in the house. Former President Barack
for real.
Hussein Obama. Talk to us.
Oh, that picture was so good. But first, let me just go to the Supreme Court Justice. Because for sure, I am putting it in every way. I'm looking at underneath. When Kenny told us about the political piece, I clued into that, so I don't have any expectation there. So I'm looking so much underneath what I see here, and what I see is just a strong movement. As no matter what they say, there's the news, and then there's the media, and then there's the TMZ, and then there's this, and there's the talk radio. There's a lot of noise out there. But the bottom line is this time she's going through. This time she is going through, no doubt in it, just no doubt in it. And then to turn on the TV and see Barack Obama on TV set at the White House, standing next to Kamala Harris, I was like, what? My head just went boom, boom. It's just a feeling that comes over me that I just absolutely love. The feeling when I just know someone of that magnitude, that strength, that power, that resilience is there, just there. I just absolutely love it. And there's so much going on that feeling, it's amazing that this many years later, he still has that kind of feeling over so many people just by his presence, the way he conducted himself every single day, all day long. So amazing. So, I'm happy. I'm in Dallas. It's warm. I love the warmth. It's 90 degrees here. I'm in the mall. I walk outside. I don't want nothing that's in the mall unless the sun comes into the mall and shines down on me. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. Our guest is really here. No, we're not going to spend 60 minutes just talking about her. We're actually going to see her, and she's going to be able to talk back to us. So I'm just excited. This is a great day. Great day.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We are not going to take up any more time. I am so excited to bring to the stage the one, the only, the first female bishop of the AME Church. And so we want to welcome to the stage Bishop Vashti McKenize is in the house. Yes, she is here. Woo! And we are so excited that we have her with us on today. You all know that March was Women's History Month, and we've been talking about women and their impact in society and how so many women have paved the way for us that are coming behind. And we've been celebrating them, and we wanted to celebrate Bishop Vashti McKenize because she is one of them phenomenal women that was able to break the glass ceiling. I mean, shatter it to pieces. And we are so thankful that she's here today to tell us a little bit. Now, let's be clear. We talked about you pretty much for the whole hour, okay? However, today we're going to let you tell us, fill in some blanks. We have questions that we absolutely want you to answer, but I want to introduce you to those of you that are listening as well as that are watching. I'm just going to tell you a little bit of her background. Her bio is extensive. And I mean, when you have these kind of individuals with their caliber, literally it could take 20 minutes to introduce her. So we just reduced it to a snippet. So let me just tell you a little bit about Bishop Vashti Murphy McKenize. She is the 117th elected and consecrated bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. She is the first female elected to Episcopal office in the AME Church and the first female to serve as president of the Council of Bishops and the president of the general board. So I know in our Reformation, the Pentecostal assemblies of the world, we have yet to elect we have female bishops now, and I just know you had something to do with that, Bishop, but we have yet to have a bishop who is the president of the general board. That I know is huge. She is the founder of CLAT Leadership Encounters for Women, a wraparound multidisciplinary approach to resourcing women who want to level up their professional and personal lives. She is the author of 6 books, including Not Without a Struggle and A Journey to the Well. Her newest book is The Big Deal of Taking Small Steps to Move Closer to God. The book shows how to develop a stronger relationship with God and more effective spiritual lifestyle by taking small steps and that lead to big change. She is the mother of 3 adult children and the nana of 2. I can't wait. So please welcome to We Got Issues, Bishop Vashti McKenize. Hey, Bishop, we have you. We're excited to have you with us on today. So we're going to go ahead and get started before we go to our first break. So just tell us a little bit about your background. How did you even get started in the ministry? And then how did you get to the place where you were elected the first female bishop of the AME Church?
All I can say is, ooh. Well, let me first say thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies, for inviting me to join in and to be a part of We Got Issues. I love you all. Gloria, hey, Howard County, all together.
Maryland, Maryland.
Yay. The land of pleasant living sometimes, and seafood capital of the world. But thank you, Chrissy, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to come and share. And thank you for inviting me back. When you talk about ministry, it is the call of ministry. And what people would describe me as a second career preacher. In other words, I was going in a totally opposite direction. I had my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan. I knew what I was going to do. I knew where I was going. I was in broadcasting. I went from, on air to program to chief operating officer to general manager. I was vice president of programming. I'm on my way to own my own station. Hello, somebody.
Wow. Okay.
And then God goes, knock, knock. And you say, who's there? Jesus. What do you want me to do? I want you to stop everything that you're doing. And I want you to preach, and I want you to pastor, and I want you to serve as an Episcopal servant. But what people fail to realize is that everything that has happened in my life, prepared me for that moment. I was born in a journalistic family. Everybody around me, writers and editors and marketing and advertising. And so all of that prepares you to say what you got to say in a soundbite, how to communicate with people, how to be able to say what you need to say. And then, Gloria, I was a model. How does a model go to being what you're doing? I said,
Wow.
I grew up in that era of the Ebony Fashion Fair. Y'all remember the Ebony Fashion Fair?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, and the Ebony Fashion Fair came to Baltimore, and I sat there and I said, wow, that's what I want to do. These women were fabulous and gorgeous and just, whoo! I said, that's where I want to be. And the Lord opened that door, and I stepped out on the runway, and I said, what does that have to do? Well, the runway prepares you to stand in front of the board of directors.
Wow.
The runway prepares you to be comfortable in standing in front of people. Period. The runway prepares you to develop your brand. How the image, the thing that you want to project to people, because we know that people will, in 7 seconds, they'll make up their mind about you. Period. You walk in the door, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the runway prepares you to walk in the door. 7, ding, done.
Wow. Right. Wow. That's amazing.
And so all through all of those stages between journalism, broadcasting, modeling to preaching, all of those steps were preparation for where I am now. And so I share with women, I said, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you are. You don't know what God is preparing you for. Just learn everything you can and be ready to move on.
You're there.
Wow. Oh my goodness. This is so good. Who knew you were walking the runway? This is so awesome. You're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship. Our guest is Bishop Vashti McKenize. We're going to pay some bills and we will be right back. All right, we are back. We are back, and you're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship. Our guest today is Bishop Vashti McKenize. She is the first female bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and she's also the CEO and founder of Selah Leadership Encounters for Women. And so, right at the break, you were talking to us about all of the things you did prior to going into ministry and how they prepared you for the knock or the there is scripture in the Bible that says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's God's purpose that will prevail. And so sometimes we think we have it all together and we know what we're going to do. But then God's like, they say people plan and God laughs, right? Like, okay, little does she know, I got something else for her to do. So I have one question that I'm going to turn it over to Gloria and Sabrina, who I know have some questions for you. So I was thinking, all of the things that you did prior to. So talk to us a little bit about your journey from going into ministry, then becoming a pastor, and then from being a pastor, and you can put it in the right order, to even being in a position to go for becoming one of the bishops, and just kind of talk about what that journey looked like.
What, when God takes you from point A to point B, it's never in a straight line. It's always zigzag, and you get surprised the way that God sends you from point A to point B. But I firmly believe that God is preparing you, putting you in places where you have to learn the skills, where you have to develop that talent, where you have to hone the gift that's going to be needed later on. And so you don't, like when I answered my call to preach and I preached my trial sermon, I had no idea what this was, like if God had told me at that moment at Bethel Church that this is where I was going to be, I would have said, check with you later. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, wait, no. And so sometimes God gives you a preview, of coming attractions. You get a little glimpse, you go like, ooh, like, okay. And then sometimes it's on a need to know basis. God will give you what you need to know at the time you need to know it, when the time you need to know it. It's just like at the Gospel of John. There's so many things that Jesus did, but if I told you everything, it would just blow your mind. You're just not ready for it. And so my intention, that's a wonderful word for this season. What is your intention? My intention was to be the best preacher I could be, and then the best pastor I could be. And then the other things were just unfolding. It just started to unfold. And so one Sunday morning in Payne, that was the church the last church I was pastor before I was elected. And, my habit was, when we come from the annual conference, where we give our report of our stewardship of the year, we tell everything that we did on behalf of the people. I would come back and give the vision for the coming year. So, during the time prior to the annual conference, I'm praying, laying before the Lord. Okay, God, what do you want us to do? Where do you want us to go? How do you want it to happen? And so forth. And so I'm literally standing in front of the congregation, outlining the vision that God had given me. This is what we're going to do this year. And then all of a sudden, God, just said to me, this is just not for your church. What I'm doing with you is giving you models of ministry that can be replicated all over the world. And I go, huh? And so, this is my call to the episcopacy. And I stood there and I just started to cry. Now we know you never let them see us sweat. Never. Never. We don't break a sweat when it's 120 degrees, okay? In the shade, all right? Right. And rule number 1, never cry before you be right. Never cry. Never. And I just stand there and I'm outlining and I'm talking, and my church administrator comes behind me and whispers in my ear, stands behind me and says, God just called you to the episcopacy, didn't he? I said, yes, he did. My husband is totally confused because, he knows rule number 1. And he's going like, oh my God, the girl done lost it. And he comes to the pulpit and stands next to me because he doesn't know what's going to happen next. My son comes up, the children come up, they go like, this is not our mother don't do this. And they came and stood with me to, as God was fleshing this whole process. Wow. And so just as I believe the call to preach is a call from God, the call to pastor is a call from God. So is Episcopal service. It is a call from God. It's a knock at that door. And, anyone who opens the door, the Lord will come on in. And that was the call. It was not my plan. It was not my plan. And I just agreed with God and went along with God's plan. And so that brings me back to Judge Jackson. When Cory Booker said what he said, and it needed to be said. And I don't care what his motives were. I was so proud of a Black man affirming a Black woman publicly.
Right.
Publicly. No shame, no game.
Right.
Just
unapologetic.
And her tears to me, and that was a lesson. That was a lesson for me. Her tears did not diminish her strength, did not diminish her qualification. In fact, it enhanced it because it indicated that she's a human being. She's not a
Right.
robot. She's not a machine. She's a human being. And so all that stuff we heard about, don't cry in front of it, toss that out the window. You are human, girlfriend. You are real. You will bleed if they cut you. And if they slap you, you'll say, ouch. And when it gets to your heart, you'll cry. And it's okay. It's okay to be human. It is absolutely okay to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's so powerful. So powerful, Bishop. Thank you for sharing that story, because I can only imagine when you felt that call from God and how overwhelming it was. But like you said, what's the saying? God doesn't call the prepared, he prepares the called, or it's vice versa. So all of the things that you had done in your life had prepared you for that big moment. And I mean, the fact that you broke that glass ceiling was God saying, I told you so. I told you so. Sometimes, it's so big. You think, how can I do it? Right? How can I do it? And I mean, when I tell you, so many women saw that. And I know within my Reformation, at that point, when you were made a bishop, we had no female bishops at all. So it was an anomaly. It was like the pink elephant in the room. I mean, it was a huge deal. But now, they're making female bishops in our organization, and it's just so wonderful to see that. And so we always know that there are women who paved the way. And so I just want to thank you again for that, because so many women rightly deserve to have that title, because they did the work and because they were not just qualified, but overqualified.
Right.
Overqualified. So I'm going to turn it over to either Gloria or Sabrina, whoever wants to go next.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm so excited about what you said. There's so many pieces to unfold. So many pieces to unfold, Bishop. I remember being in that church. I told them the other week, I remember being in the church, when, the whole conversation was going on, the energy was out of the church, into the street, into the city. I mean, it was just monumental. So here's what I want you to unfold, because you know how people will see one side or the other side. They'll see you as a bishop, or they'll see you as, the Organization for Sheila, which is an amazing event that I was very privileged to speak at. It was unbelievably strong. Or they see you as a mother, they see you as a grandmother. So talk to the women here that don't want to make a choice of one or the other. They want to handle this. And, when we see our bishops, we don't get to see inside as deeply and closely. But I know you as, a woman. And I also want you maybe later talk about how girlfriends have made a difference, because this is what the show is all about. But how have the girlfriends made a difference for you in your life, those who helped you? So just talk on either one of those, like when we go to break in 2 minutes.
Well, the hard part about being first is that there is no book to read. You can't, there's no course on it. There's no book. There's no CD. There's no conference. You are writing the script as you go along, and you are hitting against the stereotypes and, let's say, the preconceived notions people have about women and about you and about the position that you're now in. And that can be like, whoo, people would say, like, you don't look like a preacher. Really? What does a preacher look like?
Right.
Right.
And so they say, like, well, I think at that time, it was many, many years ago, they expected women to be suited up, black head to toe, no makeup, hair back in a bun,
Right.
a very austere look, sensible shoes, and here comes Vashti with red hair.
Fashion fair model.
Red lipstick, what? Oh, I was supposed to wear black? Oh. Said, what are we going to do with her? And so finally, one brother said to me, he says, you don't look like a preacher. And, this is, said, this is how we want you to look. And I said, my husband likes the fact that I look like a woman.
Mm.
And this is the king of my house. And I am going to look like a woman, because if God wanted to be a man, he would have fixed it before I got here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right.
Now for girlfriends, let me tell you, girlfriends are a lifesaver.
Come back to that.
Bishop, yes.
Okay.
That's a great segment. Yes. So we're going to take this break. Okay. And when we come back, Bishop, you're going to tell us about the importance of having strong girlfriends, because I happen to know some of your girlfriends. And when I tell you, there ain't no joke. Okay. You're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship on 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. We'll be right back after this break. All right, we are back. We are back. You're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship. Our guest today is Bishop Vashti McKenize. We're excited. This has been such a great conversation. She is the first female bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And she's also the CEO. And we want her to talk a little bit about that before we end. The CEO and founder of CELA Leadership Encounters for Women. So prior to the break, she was just about to talk about the importance of having girlfriends, because I can imagine what the journey was like you stepping into this position, breaking that glass ceiling. You absolutely, I know, had to have some girlfriends that you could talk to, confide in, get encouragement from. So just talk to us about the importance of having those kind of friends in your life.
Well, girlfriends, I mean, I'm talking about true, boom, boom, sister girlfriends, real sister girlfriends are really critical to a part of your emotional, your spiritual health, because they will pray with you. They'll pray for you. They'll pull you back. Girl, don't do that. They'll look at you and go like, come here. Nobody else is going to say, come here, but your girlfriend, and say, we need to have a conversation. Girlfriends will cover you when you you're on the airplane, you're going overseas. I mean, if I served in Africa for 4 years as a bishop, I had 4 countries, and I was 10,000 miles away from everything and everybody that I knew. And you got a good girlfriend who will call you long distance to Africa. To say, and are you yet alive? Yes, I am. Thank you, Jesus. I mean, that's a real good girlfriend back then.
Right.
Before email was a big deal. Before, who will call you and make sure that you're, and who didn't mind you calling, because in Africa, it may be 6 o'clock in the evening. But then, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning over there. They don't mind receiving the call. But what I say to women, though, is to be clear who your real girlfriends are. You have associates. Those are women who are around you, who are associating with you. They're not in your inner circle, and they're not, authentic girlfriends, but they're associates, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And then you have those who associate with you by position. They're in your atmosphere because of the position that you hold. And so they want to be around your position. They don't necessarily want to be around you, but they want to be around your position. And so you have to be clear that that's not the crowd that you really download and be with. I had one good girlfriend that says, you don't download, you have to have upload and download friends. I just got to get it off my chest, and they're just going to listen to you, and they just listen, and you just got to download it. Once you download it, we fine. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to tell me no more advice. I just need to get it out of me. And once I get it out of me, I'm good. And girlfriend will say, praise the Lord. Now, Bishop, go to sleep now. Call it a night, and we're done. But you don't do that with an associate, and you don't do that with a person who's associated by position. By position. You see, a girlfriend will come see you. An associate will call it, find out if you're all right. You understand what I'm saying? Because all of us have been through stuff. And I had girlfriends go, look, you haven't answered your phone today. If you don't answer the phone tomorrow, we coming.
It's time.
Got it. We coming. All right. And that's your girlfriend. So it's okay to have associates. Okay, people who want to associate by position. I got book reading girlfriends. I love to read. So what you reading? Oh, good. All right. Good. Let me get that book. Da 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 da. I got shopping girlfriends. I would be one. Ain't nothing wrong with retail therapy, okay? Nothing matter with it, okay? It may not be your thing. Leave the rest of us alone, okay?
Right. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you for giving me permission. I appreciate that.
She don't need position. She don't need no permission. She don't need permission. She don't need permission. Bishop. We're so glad to have you. So glad to have you. You come from a family of rock stars. I have followed you forever. I'm a Delta. You got to tell the world that your grandmother was it your grandmother or great grandmother? Grandmother? A founding member. You guys, Bishop Vashti McKenize's grandmother was one of the 22 founding members of Delta Sigma Theta. So I thank you for having a grandmother who allowed me to have the life that I have, filled with such richness, such depth. I mean, we have so many parallels. Dr. Jamie Coleman, I pledged at Tennessee State, Alpha Chi. So Dr. Jamie was one of my mentors at Tennessee State. Of course, she was one of yours and helped you get that position. I know you love her. We lost her at 103 not too long ago. And just the richness. And then the newspaper. You guys, her family started the newspaper, the Baltimore what's the name of it? Baltimore Afro-American?
American newspaper, right.
Right.
My family has the oldest weekly Black newspaper in Oklahoma, 100 years old. And so many parallels.
Right.
And so Bishop Vashti, talk about coming from a family of excellence, a family that paved the way, a family that pushed you to be your very best. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, I sure can. And it's a blessing. Absolutely is a blessing. Now, understand, I didn't realize it was a blessing growing up. No pressure, no pressure. I had my mother was an advertising and marketing pioneer.
Wow.
Graduated from the University of Wisconsin when Black girls weren't supposed to be at University of Wisconsin in Madison. My aunts were editors. They were managing editors. They were general editors. Another aunt was publisher. And so, because my grandfather didn't have any sons. So what happened was that whatever your gift was, you could do that. So it had nothing to do with whether you were a boy or a girl. It had to do with your gift. So I grew up in an environment that if you could do this, then go ahead and do this. And I grew up in an environment where your grandparents and your parents created experiences for you that developed you. And so I always ended up being in places where, that was back in integration, where you're the one or only, or one or two, or one or three. And so you get used to being the one of only, a one and three. And so when I grew up, here I am, in this position where I'm one of only, one or three. So that's why I say how God prepares you for that. And so family is very important. I learned a lot from my mother. I learned a lot from my aunts that served me today. In our family, going to college wasn't a choice. You were going. It wasn't about, are you going to college? It's like, which one are you going to? That was the issue. Leadership, being in leadership was never an issue. It's just that what area are you going to be, exercising leadership in? And I got 16 first cousins, and they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're pharmacists, they're preachers, they're business persons, they're entrepreneurs, they're journalists. I mean, like they're all over the spectrum. It's not an issue of what you do, is exercising leadership in what you do. And so I said, no pressure, no pressure. So when I was a kid, y'all got all this stuff covered. Y'all got all these pieces covered. Y'all don't need no more, y'all don't need any more of that. But when I was growing up, my grandmother was alive. And so, of course, she was Vashti. Her daughter, Vashti, she was Aunt Ty. And they tried to figure out, now what we're going to call her. Because if you say Vashti, all three of us turn around and go like, yeah. Which one do you want? So they were trying to figure out whether they were call me Miss V, which I hated, hated Miss V. And in school, they call me Ty. So now I'm up there at Eastern High School. Hi, Ty. Hi, Ty. I said, no, don't do that.
Wow.
And so I tell the story. One day, I got beside myself, right? Little girls, somewhere we get beside ourselves, and we think we're really grown. And so I said to my grandmother, I said, well, when will you call me by my whole name? And she just turned around and said, when you earn it.
Leadership.
Earn it. Earn your name. The
Wow.
full name.
You earned it. I said,
Her name.
yes, ma'am. And you just quietly back out of the room, you know. You ain't got nothing else to say. And so,
Wow.
you know, the impact of family is very important. And somebody said, well, I didn't grow up in that kind of family. I didn't grow up in that kind of family. I didn't grow up in that kind of, you know, you get to a point, you know, like many of my family members are no longer living. You choose family. There are, you know, senior women in my life who are like mothers to me. And there's senior women who are like aunties to me, who call me by my first name. They don't call me Bishop. They say, Vashti. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, this is so good. This is so
Yes,
great.
yes.
Listen, we do have a caller, and please don't hang up. I'm not going to say who she is, but she is absolutely calling to chat with you, Bishop. We're going to go to her right after the break. You're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship, and we will be right back. We're coming back. We are coming back. The Force of Friendship. Wow, this has been such a rich conversation with the first female bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. We're excited to have Bishop Vashti McKenize with us. And we have a caller. Caller, are you still there?
Yes, I am here. Bishop, this is your best girlfriend. And hey, Bishop. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well. It's just so good to hear your voice again. I do want to say to the callers that this bishop will text me a song early in the morning. And I know that he's in tune with God, because it was like, how did you know that's the song that I needed to hear? Those songs always bless me, and I just want to thank you. But I was just want to ask you, we have known each other, oh my God, you were one of the first ministry creatures that we had in Oak Grove. But the night that my husband and you were elected as bishops in the AME Church, can you tell me what was the most impactful moment that night? Can you remember back 21 years ago? Absolutely, no doubt about it. We'll remember it. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Okay. I absolutely, as if it was happening right now. Really, for me, God was in charge of that night. Absolutely in charge of that night. It was almost like everything was moving in slow motion, and things were clicking into place. Click, 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 clicking into place. Earlier that evening, Jamie Coleman Williams had presented a resolution to the General Conference to have a woman elected, singularly on the first ballot. So just have a woman, and that resolution failed, and so everybody assumed that no woman was going to be elected. But I was encouraged because it takes 800 plus delegates to win. Mm-hmm. 600 people voted for that resolution. That meant that we had to go to work and find 200 more people. So what people saw as a failure, I saw it as a win. And so that's why I say God was just unfolding the night. There was, where did them 600 people come from? And where did those other 200 people come from? And then after the first vote, Dr. Jessica, that our crowds are let's say region sensitive. Mm-hmm. You gotta have somebody from the north, somebody from the south, somebody from the Midwest. Mm-hmm. You got somebody from each one. Oh, you can't have two from the east and one from no. And when the first count came, you had one from every region. And we were all in a row. North and McKenzie, England, Williams. All in a row. All those regions. Only God could have done that. As they tried to say, well, maybe we ought to pull this one up here. Maybe we ought to take this one here. Maybe we ought to do this. Maybe we ought to move this. No, you have all regions.
1, 2, 3, boom, boom. And that's all you need. And and God was in the rest. So Norris was first, I was second. And Dr. Jessica was scared that we were not going to come back and get Ingram.
Yeah,
You know
that wasn't going to happen, right? You're good girlfriend. I know that wasn't going to happen. And so when we went back in caucus and we came back out, and the rest is history. The rest of the team came through. And it was God's night. It was not our win. It was never our win. It was God's win for us. And I think that I believe that the class of 2000 is absolutely the best class in the whole entire world in African ethnicity. The best class. We were the first class that all of us had seminary degrees. We were all real doctors, and there's a difference. There is a difference. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Look your hair down. Right. I want to thank you for your 21 years of outstanding leadership, not just to the African Methodist, but the church there. To the church worldwide, and you made such a profound impact. And I do pray that these years of retirement are good years for you. Yay! Well, listen, what retirement? No, excuse me. I want to congratulate you. Reverend Jessica has started a whole bunch of new stuff. Yeah, has come out of retirement. She was retired for about 30 days. And came out of the business, doing a whole wonderful thing. The England did different, and I'm so proud of you. You make me proud. All kids, I'm so proud of you. We laughed together, we cried together, and I'm coming to your birthday party. Somebody said, "Are you going to have a birthday party?" I said, "No, I'm going to Reverend Jessica's birthday party. I'm going to celebrate my birthday, her birthday." Oh God, it's so wonderful. That is so awesome. Reverend Jessica, thank you so much for calling in. Yes, and affirming your girlfriends. That's what girlfriends do.
do, and you are just amazing. And so thank you so much for calling us. And so we just have a
minutes before we have to end. I told you it comes by so quickly. So you got about a minute and a half. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. CEO, founder of Selah Leadership Encounters for Women. Talk about it.
Well, Selah is a opportunity for women who are in the community, in the corporate world, in the congregation to come together and resource each other. For me, I love to see women catch on fire. I love to see them grow. I love to see them flourish. I love the big idea, the new thing happen. And so Selah is creating shared learning experiences for that to happen on many different levels. So right now we're in our season, our spring season called Selah Reads. And on Thursday, the fourth Thursday in the month, we go live. And you are invited. Of course, you have to register because we got to know you're going to be in the room. So on May 21st, we're going to have the author. That's right. No, this is April 21st. We're going to have the authors of The Personal Librarian. It is a historical novel. It's different. It's the first time we've done a novel, historical novel, New York Times bestseller. These African-American women pull this story together, and it's absolutely rich. And then in May, on May 12th, Minda Harts is going to be with us, and she's the author of a best-selling book called The Memo. Her new book is called Right Within, How to Deal with Racial Trauma on the Job. Boom.
Boom. Period.
Right.
That is.
Boom.
So Bishop, how can they find you if they're interested in becoming a part of this leadership group? How can they find them? And we will post it on our website. So give them how they can find what you're doing.
You can go to Facebook on Selah Leadership VIP online group and click in to become a part of the group. We got thousands of women who are a part of that. We post every day. We talk about subjects and stuff that's happening. We have videos. We repost, the things that we have done. When COVID hit, we went to Selah, the home edition. And Gloria has been a part of the home edition. She's also came to one of our conferences in Dallas and just blew us out of the water, super bad all day long. And so
it was great. It was great.
We're waiting for that signal to say we can come back and be in person again. But until then, we are in the virtual world. So if you go to Facebook, Selah Leadership VIP online group, come and join us. You can click onto my Facebook page, Bishop Vashti McKenize. I'm in Twitter, Vashti McKenize. You can follow me on IG, Instagram, as well as in LinkedIn. So wherever there's social media, I am up in there. And so come and follow, and you'll find out all the information, everything that you need to know, and come be a part of our group. It is a safe space for us to talk. Just like you're talking right now, this is a safe space for us to have some girl talk, stuff that we need to talk about that we don't need to get to talk about. So I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. This has been, yes. This has been awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Bishop, for coming on We Got Issues, for sharing with us your story, which is absolutely amazing. You all have been listening. We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship. We will be here tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.